Okay. Hi, everyone, and welcome to today's masterclass that is part of the Gifted World community. Today is the Saturday, the 13th of April, 2024, and we're excited to have here with us today Dr. Ram Narasimhan, who is doing a session with us on mastering sports analytics. To get started with, I just want to tell you a few little things about the Gifted World community, that is us. Oh, wait, hold on. Sorry. I'm just going to share my screen. Okay. Oh, there. So the first question I want to ask is make sure that you are a member on our website, www.giftedworld.org. Membership is free and available to anyone. It gives you access to a whole host of resources, fun challenges, master classes like this. We have fortnightly challenges, which are there on our blog. You can see that, and the best responses every fortnight do get featured on our blog, and I will be sharing the link to that in a bit. We exist as a community to enable students who are talented to get the resources they need to be curious, to have fun learning, and to thrive. So please do join us and share these resources, share this website, this membership with anyone you know who's interested in pushing their boundaries beyond what you would get at school. Okay. So for today, I want to introduce our speaker for today, Dr. Ram Narasimhan. So Ram is a principal data scientist at General Electric in Florida, USA. I've been working with him over the past 2-3 weeks on this presentation, and he's a person who's really, really passionate about teaching statistics and data science. Now, those might seem like very big words, scary words that are everyone's talking about in terms of jobs and interesting things today. But it all starts very simply. It starts with you being interested in some topic and being interested in numbers. And Ram really conveys that beautifully. So we're really thrilled to have him here. I've personally learned quite a bit over the last 2 weeks working with him. And so I just want to lay a couple of ground rules. Okay. So in this session, Ram is going to share a bunch of different short snippets, stories with us. And we want all of your questions and engagement. Please don't hold back, but put your questions in the chat box. Okay. I will summarize them to Ram. We will be stopping 2 to 3 times during the session for questions. At that time, we will ask you if you have any questions. You can raise your hand and I'll call on you to speak. Okay. And finally, let's all be kind and respectful to each other. Okay. We're really looking forward to the session. And so with that said, I will stop my screen share and then happy to hand over to Ram.
Good evening, everybody. If you're able to see my screen, I can get started.
Yes, your screen share has started.
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. All right. Thank you, Siddharth. Good evening, everybody, again. It was wonderful to see all of your favorite sports. So next time I need to add some badminton and table tennis. But for today, I have a lot of cricket and football examples. But here's what I thought we would do for the next hour or so. Let's take a tour of a few things that will be very useful if you do want to get into this subject. Okay, sports analytics can be done at any level. And I have, I think, a list of 8 things, 8 different stories, if you will, or 8 different aspects of sports analytics, which I wanted to share with all of you. Okay, this is more for your parents than for all of you. But while I think it's an excellent hobby, I don't know if you should grow up to be a sports analytics person when you as your job. I'll get into this again towards the end, but I'm going to skip that for now. And I want to start off right away with a warm up. Okay, I'm going to just show you some numbers, but I'll come back to it and I'll ask some questions. Since so many of you said football was your favorite sport, here is a game that happened. Okay, I won't tell you the team names, just team A and team B. That's not important. But at this point, I want you to look at some numbers. Okay. First, I'll just sort of read them out, and I won't spend too much time because I'm going to come back to it in just a minute. Attempts, meaning how many times did they try to make a goal? Okay, you know what a football attempt is. So team A made 7 attempts, but team B made 12 attempts. Okay. Attempts on target, meaning they were right in where the goal post was, but the goalie may or may not have blocked it. 4 versus 9. How many corner shots did each team take? How many fouls were committed by both teams? Team A made 16 fouls, team B made 9, yellow cards and red cards. Okay, I just want to share this with you. I'll come back in 1 second. But at this point, I want to show you what a game statistic looks like, right, in soccer or football. Okay, we already, with Siddharth, we've been talking, saying today we're going to talk about sports analytics. But what is it? What is a sports analytic? All right. There are many, many aspects to this. But the way I like to think about it is, this is what many people think of. Sports analytics means off field, as in, the game is not going on right now, but we can always look at the performance. How did the team perform? Post game, which is just now what we saw, right? That game is over. We are analyzing a game that is over. Or we can have competition analysis. So in a whole tournament, who won, right? In your badminton or table tennis tournament, we can sort of see why somebody won, why somebody lost. All of that is off-field analytics. But even these days, thanks to technology, we can do on-field, meaning even as the game is going on, we can sort of do certain things. And people will watch that. How is a person running? How fit are they? So scouting, meaning who should we have in our team and who should we not have? How could we plan to win? Because you already know what your opponent is going to do. So we could have some strategies. Okay, this is one aspect called on-field. I won't spend too much time on it, but you could also do revenue related, which means how many ticket, what is my price, what am I going to get out of ticket sales? Merchandising, should I sell t-shirts or full sleeve shirts? Should I sell right jerseys? Which one sells more? Where can I get sponsorships? There is a whole amount of math and science that goes on in that aspect. And in terms of fan engagements, what should I do in the stadium to keep people excited and interested? These are all aspects of sports analytics. But for today, I thought we'll focus on the top 2 portions. Okay, that should be sort of enough for us. Now, I started off by giving you one example, and that is called descriptive statistics, which means we're going to describe what happened in a game. So now I have questions for you. Okay, you can type and Siddharth will read it out. But let's see. Team A or team B, which team was more accurate? Accurate in terms of handling the ball. You have to type the answer, I think. And while you are doing that, you can say which team was rougher. They played a rougher game. Okay, they were more aggressive.
So wait, so first, please do vote for which team was more accurate so that we don't. It looks like there are more votes in favor of team B being more accurate.
Yes, team B was definitely more accurate. Rougher.
Okay. So now, which team played rougher?
Hit enter.
Okay. Everyone says that team A played rougher.
Yes, that's very clear. You can see that because of the number of yellow cards and red cards. Okay, team B did not even get a red card. And you'll, yes. Somebody had a question.
It's not the yellow cards and the red cards. It's because the number of fouls. It is the most on anything on that match facts. And also 10 fouls were not given cards and 6 fouls were given cards.
Thanks,
Yes.
Samant.
Exactly. Yes, 16 fouls and 6 cards. You're right, absolutely right. 10 were not given cards. Absolutely right. Which team? Okay, maybe I'll skip this one, but here I want to ask you guys, overall, who was the better team? Who do you guys think was a better team?
Who was the better team?
Also be very. Which team played better?
There's one vote for A, but every other vote is coming for B.
It was for team B. Yes, clearly, because we can see they have had more attempts, it means they tried harder and they had more corner kicks and they were more on target. Team B played better. Now, this is a difficult question, but I'll ask you anyway because you guys are all smart. Can you guess what the final score may have been? It's very unfair. You will not know, and I know because I looked at what happened. But make a guess. What do you think the final score should be for this game? Team A, Team B.
So one answer is 4 and 9, 0 and
4,
1,
9, okay.
0,
0,
3,
1 is a good guess. Yes, 0, 3,
2, 1.
0, 1, 0, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Okay. So clearly, as we saw, right, Team B played better. We expect that Team B would be 1. And yet, here is what happened. Okay. The person who said 2, 1, you're absolutely right. Team A, which did not play so well, actually ended up scoring two goals. And Team B only scored 1. Okay. So the players here, in the 9th minute and 29th minute, Team A scored a goal, and then eventually Team B scored another goal in the 41st minute of the game. What this also tells us is that this feels a little unfair. Okay. Team B was the better team, and yet they lost. And that all of us know that happens in sport, right? It doesn't mean that always the best team will win. That's why we call this descriptive. We are describing what happened, but this is not enough to predict. And I want to use that to say, hey, it's not enough just to be able to describe a game. There is also a branch of statistics or math called predictive statistics, where we focus on win probabilities. Okay, I think somebody, yeah. All right, so let's take a look. So here, guys, earlier this year, 2 months ago, India and England were playing a series of test matches. Okay, India had, as you can see here, the score was tied. This is the start of the test number 3. Okay, the 2 test matches are over. India lost the very first one, then England won the first one. And I want you to focus on this circle here. So even before the game started, they're saying that India has a 67% chance of winning. Okay, England only has a 23% chance of winning, and there is a draw that will happen. Okay, meaning neither team will win. That will be 10%. So the test match has no result. My question for you is, this is from Google, right? You can go there anytime before a match happens. They will publish the stats. I want you guys to think about how could they come up with a win probability? What did they do? How does somebody come up with it? How do you calculate who is more likely to win? Can you type something there? Many, and there are no wrong answers, okay?
So the answers that are coming are based on pre-match statistics, the stadium location,
yeah,
the current form of the players.
Current form, okay, very good, wonderful.
Head-to-head comparisons of individual members of the squad.
Okay,
previous,
right.
who won before.
Who won before, yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely, guys. You look clearly, you're right. Even though I am assuming, and many of you have not sort of built a win probability model, clearly all of you understand what is going on. I'm very impressed with everything that you said. Imagine putting all of that and then trying many times and different answers. And finally, they have published 67% for India and 23% for England. Wonderful.
There are
Since
two
you guys
more that
already
have come.
know,
that is the number of average runs and the pitch. How the pitch is
yeah,
prepared.
stadium and pitch, how the pitch is today. Yeah, is it favoring the spinners or fast bowlers? Is it favoring India or England? And yeah, form, all of these are excellent. But since you guys already know so much, I'm going to make it a little more difficult. Even though England only had a 23% chance of winning, let's say that England actually wins this. This didn't happen, by the way. But my question to you is, if England ends up winning, was our probability model wrong? Was it useless? You tell me what happened. Why did England win, even though I predicted India to win?
Ram, shall I let people unmute for this?
Yeah, go for it.
This would be a longer...
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, longer answer.
There's no easy answer.
England won because when I think England won because of this. Because India, I think, were overconfident that 67%. were voting for them, and they thought that they'll have an easy win, but in the end, England struck.
Okay, wonderful. So they were
So-
Thanks,
overconfident.
Samant.
Overconfidence led to that.
I
Anybody else wants to?
think because, sir, because this is just the test match of 3 out of 5. It's
Yeah.
it's not the final test match, so it's still chances. There is chances for England, for India of winning, and not sometimes for nobody can expect who can win and when will they win. Nobody can expect.
Okay, very good. Yeah,
Thanks,
we can.
Jagat.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Ridan could.
so also I think because of the England winning probability is 23 plus the draw probability is 10. So if England won, which means I think they also have the draw probability with them, which means they actually got 33% after winning that one match in the test.
Okay. Thanks, Ridan.
Okay.
Reyansh, I see your hand is up. Maybe we'll do that one final answer and then.
Yeah.
England could have turned the tables in the end.
Yes, it could have happened, right? Something happened in the last minute that we didn't anticipate. Yeah. And so I want you guys to remember something, okay? A win probability is not the final answer, right? It's just our
Sir.
expectation. Yes, go ahead.
Sir, sometimes in the middle of the match, even though India have more percentage, as the match goes on, whoever they think has the more statistics and is better, that team will get more percentage. Like pretend India lost 30% of their percentage in the middle because of not very good. And then England will go to 53% and India will be at 37%. And then the sum of the draw might go to England. So like the win probability for the guessing can change.
Yes, absolutely. Okay. Thanks, Siddharth. At this point, I'll move on.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we'll run out of time. So all of you clearly understand, right? This is just a win probability. Sometimes these things happen, right? Some other results than what we expected happens. But what the probability tells us is that if we played this game 100 times or hundreds of times, if you played 100 matches, India will most likely win 67 of them, and England will win 23 of them, and 10 of them will end up in a draw. Okay, so the probability model was not useless at all. It's just giving us a guideline for what to expect. Of course, a lot of things happen in real life, which we don't anticipate. All right. But as we can see now, that was predictive. Okay. But there is something else that is called prescriptive or prescription, right? When the doctor tells us what to do, when they give us a prescription. So prescriptive stats can be very, very tricky. And let's look at an example of why it's so valuable as well. I'm showing you a table. First, I want you to understand the table. This is an IPL, okay? We are still in cricket. On the top, I have different teams, okay? All the different IPL teams. And on each row here, each row, horizontal row, is one location, starting from Mumbai, Kolkata, Bangalore, all the way down to Delhi, okay? So as you can see, each column is one team, and each row is one stadium. And the color here indicates how likely or how often have they won. It is the percentage of times they have won in that when that team played in that stadium. Okay. So a darker color means they have won more often, and very light color means that they have not won as often in that stadium. So based on this, I want you to tell me, let's ask this first one, right? Write down in chat. What do you notice right away? Right away, something at least I noticed when I saw this. All of you should. Can somebody guess what is going on here? What do you notice? Look at each column.
So people are saying teams have advantage at their home stadium.
Absolutely,
win in
right?
their home
Everybody
stadium.
noticed it. In fact, look at how strongly it is, right? Chennai, when Chennai Super Kings play in Chennai, they seem to be winning enormously. And similarly with Kings 11 Punjab, which will look at Mumbai Indians when they play in Mumbai. Okay, my more difficult question for you guys, because the first one was very easy. Why do you think this is happening? Just 2 or 3 reasons. Just type it up. Very good. Very good.
So they
Higher
have
fan
more
support,
fans.
stadium atmosphere. Okay, yeah, go ahead. This is that.
No, go ahead. So crowd support is what most people
More
are saying.
supporters. I love it. And you guys can see what is going on, right? I did not also, when I saw these numbers, I didn't understand that the cloud support was such a big factor that they win huge amount of games at home stadium. Whereas when they go elsewhere, the other team is supporting and the opponent team is booing us, or the stadium is booing us. Therefore, we don't win as well. Wonderful. So see, based on this, if you're a coach or if you're in that team, you can sort of start making some decisions. You can decide what to do. What does a white mean? Wonderful. Okay, Ridan, white means that at that time there was no data in that box. I also was wondering what that meant. Okay, so the data is missing or it's 0. So that's what the white box means. Wonderful question. Thank you. Glad you're paying attention. So then what I did is I went and clicked on just this Punjab because I wanted to see Punjab playing in Kings 11 when they play in Mohali, okay, in Chandigarh. When they play there, here is what happened. Look at the number of wickets taken by sort of Punjab, Kings 11 Punjab bowlers, when the pace bowlers have taken slightly over 120 wickets. But look at what our spin bowlers are doing. Okay, spin bowlers are taken close to more than 190 wickets. Okay, so this is telling us that now we are going into prescribing. Okay, we can actually prescribe. If you can tell the coach or we can somebody saying, if you are playing in the home court, okay, if you are and you won the toss, that means that you can decide whether to bat first or to bowl first. It turns out that if you always decide to field, meaning you will do the bowling first, and if you use the spinners, you actually end up winning a lot more. So look at what happened to Kings 11 Punjab. This is called a pie chart, right? Whenever the Kings 11 Punjab won the toss, if they decided to bat, they only won 23.3%. You can see the orange there. That means when they were batting first. But if they put the opponents to bat and they fielded and then they started batting later on, that means they chased. They know how much to hit. They end up winning an enormous amount of time. They end up 76% of the time they win in Mohali. Okay, so this is what tells us what goes on, and this is what we mean by prescriptive statistics. Okay, and so what is prescriptive statistics? In prescriptive statistics, we are looking for what we call nuggets or gold bars, right? Some idea. And here could be one example. If you say that this batsman is giving a catch in silly mid-on, which is one of the positions close to the batsman, 6 times in the past, okay, then what the opponent captain will do if they know that is they will keep a fielder right around there and hope that this guy will give a catch again. That's called a prescribe. You're prescribing, okay? Or we happen to know that this bowler's hamstring is troubling him, and therefore today he won't be able to have a big run up, right? He's slightly injured. That means that he will bowl slowly, and therefore if you're a batsman, knowing this, you can be more aggressive and you can hit harder and hope to score more runs. Or we know this fact. Let's say that in an IPL, once a team loses the first 4 wickets, they have a tendency to collapse. Then, if you're a captain or a coach, you should put all your good bowlers in the beginning and see if you can take the first 4 wickets. And that way, the other bowlers can come and finish it up. That this team will get all out quickly. Okay, these are all sort of ideas of prescriptive stats. Or we can say that this batsman, he loves going for big sixes, but he also gives catches at the boundary. So then you guys know what to do. You have to place a fielder right there at the boundary. It's okay if you lose a few sixers, but then you can catch at the boundary and get this guy out. So these are all what we mean by prescriptive analytics, and maths and statistics tells us how to read this, right? By look, as you guys saw, we can look at history and we can sort of come up with it. All right. So I'm going to show you 2 ways of how we could do prescriptive or predictive analytics. And I decided to choose something that many people don't like, something called distributions. Okay. And this is a statistical concept, and I'll see if I can explain it to you. And in order to explain that, first, I have one picture. When we say by distributions this time, we are all focused on used to focusing on one player, right? On this purple guy, let's say. But instead, in a distribution, we focus on the whole population, and that helps us compare this one person with how the rest of the team is doing. Let's say the whole set of all the other players comparable to this person are doing. And let's see if we can actually go back to a Jupyter notebook. Let me run it again. And I'll see if I can, if this loads up, I'll bring it for you guys. Okay, very good. So while this is running, I'll explain to you what I have done. Okay, I got the data for every bowler who ever bowled an international in international cricket, one day ODI or one day internationals last year in 2023. Okay, I found about 300 or so bowlers, and for all of them, let's see how many we had. What I'm trying to do is I'm calculating what is called their economy rate. Okay, an economy rate is how expensive or inexpensive a bowler is. How many runs is a bowler giving in each over? That's called an economy rate. Okay, and let me see what happens if I say that I'm going to make a bin width of, and once this plots it, I'll explain this plot to you. Okay, here is what I'm doing. I have taken 300 bowlers. They are from all the countries, okay? India, Australia, England, every test playing, or not every one day international playing international player is here for last year. And I put them in three buckets of size 2 each. So here, very few people, less than 25 bowlers, are extremely economical, which means that they give less than, as you can see here, between 2 to 4 or 3 runs per over, right? They are wonderful bowlers to have. And then you can see that most of your other bowlers, for majority of them, give between 4 or 5 runs an over, which is very reasonable in one day international. And here are your expensive bowlers, which means that they are giving 7 runs on average, okay? And I want to show you what a distribution looks like. So instead of making a bin width of 2, we can also divide it the same data, but if we try making a bin width of 1, we will get more distributions, right? You can see the slice is sliced thinner. And here you can see that there are some who are extremely good. Maybe they only bowled 1 or 2 overs, so they got lucky. And then so these are also very good because they give between 3 and 4, and you can see how many people give 5 runs. Okay, so already this tells you that on average, if you give 5 runs per over, you are somewhere in the middle. And all these guys, 6, 7, 8, and 9 are your expensive bowlers. Okay, so as you can see, with the distribution, you can get a lot of insight. I'll make it even thinner, just if you really want to see. And so you see, now I know how all the bowlers are behaving. And if somebody says, hey, this new bowler is able to give us 4.2 runs per over, we know that 4.2 will fall right somewhere here. And that means that they are on the very good side. Okay, in this case, being on the left is very good, and being on the right means very expensive or very bad, in the sense that they give us a very high economy rate. That's a way of understanding how different bowlers we can compare by knowing about distributions. All right. Yes, second, while this loads up, I have too many things running, so it's all right, good. First thing, exploring board. Let's see if this will work. So that if still this doesn't work, you might have to break up the slides, but
Sure.
I think it should be okay this time.
I'll anyway get it ready.
Okay, keep it ready. All right. Okay, we saw distributions as one way of doing prescriptive or predictive analytics. Next, something that is very interesting for all of us, and all of you can also do, okay? Visualization or creating graphs or creating plots. I'm assuming that if you take some math courses or statistics courses, you are definitely already creating that. Cricket and badminton and table tennis these days allow us to do very interesting plots. I thought I'll take one simple one from cricket and explain how this works, and then we can look at what is going on. Okay, so as many of you know, in most plots, we have this X and Y axis, and then this particular thing is called a Manhattan plot or a bar graph. Let me first show you what it looks like, then I'll ask you why it's called that, and we'll understand. So you know that a team comes and in the first over, let's say that they gave 5 runs, okay? Then you will draw this as tall as it's 5, okay? And the y-axis is 5. So this will be 1, 5. And then you could do 2, 3, because in the second over, they gave only 3 runs. And then they gave 9 runs in the third over, and so on. And then you get a red dot. Okay, you guys have been watching TV a long time. So what does the red dot mean, even though I didn't explain it? You guys, somebody wants to guess? Many people know. Yes. Okay. So there was one wicket that fell in the third over. Excellent. All of you know this. And then in the fourth over, they had 5 runs and so on. Okay. So you can do this. And when you create all of this to put together, it's called a Manhattan plot. Yes, it's a wicket. And can you guys tell me why it might be called a skyline plot or a Manhattan plot? Siddhartha, do they answer? Do they type? I don't know. Oh, okay, many people are raising their hand, maybe one person.
So one person, yeah. Yes. So people are answering, saying it has
Oh, they are.
various heights, like skyscrapers in a city.
Wonderful. Yeah, it looks, in fact, I'll show you a next one and you will actually see. Repeat, please. So we are asking, the question here is, why is this called a Manhattan plot? Okay, it's a bar plot, but many of you already know, especially some of you may even have visited. If you go to New York City, the skyline, actually these days, many cities look like this. If you go to Mumbai, even in Bengaluru, you have skyline. And so this is sometimes called a skyline plot. By the way, we can take this exact same data and we can also create a simple XY plot, right? In the first over, as you can see here, I can do 1,5, right? I can do that. And in the second over, I can add the total. 3 more runs were added. So now I will do 2,5 plus 3, 8. And the third one will be 3,8 plus 9, 17. And then I can connect this whole thing. And this is called a worm graph. I'm going to show it to you in 1 second. But let's go and look at a match which many people in India, many of us don't like to remember with because something very good did not happen for India. The outcome was not what India wanted. Some of you may have watched the World Cup last year. Okay, India was doing spectacularly well. They never lost a game and they got into the finals. Rohit Sharma and his whole team, everybody was very excited because this was going to be India's chance to win. And then look at what happened here. So in the on the top, we are showing India's innings. Okay, I want you to look at it. India scored a certain number of runs. That will be the total here. If you add all these bars, you will get India's total. And each red dot here, as many of you already said, yes, it's also a line graph, is when we had India lost wickets. Then Australia came. And what happened? It didn't go very well for India. How many overs did Australia finish the match in? You can see on the bottom there. It didn't take too long, okay? Even by 43rd over, Australia had already won. And I want you guys to notice one thing. Notice the red dots for Australia. Look at how many wickets India lost on the top. And look at what happened in for Australia. After they lost their third wicket, India was very hopeful, right? Everybody was thinking, oh man, if they get a couple more wickets, India has a really good chance of winning. And actually, it might have happened. But the third wicket or the fourth wicket partnership, yes, exactly. Indian bowlers did not take enough wickets. And therefore, Australia, they did a phenomenal job and they started hitting and they ended up winning. Okay. Now, this exact same data, I'm also going to show it to you guys I created it as a worm plot. Okay. So as you can see there, blue is India's color. So India batted first and they scored here 300 and I don't remember the exact. No, they couldn't even hit 300. They scored 290 or something. Okay, as you can see there, you read off from the y-axis. Who batted first in this case? It is India because it's in the blue and you can see that it goes longer. Second innings was yellow color, Australia or 241. No, it seems higher than 241, but we can look it up. Okay. Australia came, and if you are steeper, if you climb this hill faster, then you're doing very well. All right. So Australia very easily managed to win. The same data shown in a Manhattan plot or a worm graph. So I want to show you that, see, each one, this is the power of visualization. The two graphs tell very different stories. We can understand different things from what's going on. In a Manhattan plot, and in fact, you can see here, if some of you can focus on the 29th over when Australia was batting, right? That was a terrible over for India because somebody hit close to 20 runs, 18 or 19 runs, and that made it very easy for them to win. Okay. Now I have a question for you. It's your turn. Okay. I won't tell you what this match was. Is that supposed to be the first over?
So
Why
there's a
zero in
question
the
saying,
index?
why is there a zero in the
Yeah.
second Manhattan plot on the
Yeah.
x-axis?
Okay. Yes, I saw that. Very good catch. No, it is supposed to be the first over. It is my mistake. I was plotting it, but I then corrected it. Okay, so let me go back and I show you that here I saw that. Okay, because in Python things start plotting only from zero. It was the very first over is called the zeroth over. Then I added one to everything and I corrected it. Okay, and then I forgot to do it in this one, and you caught it. Very good catch. Thank you. But these plots were created by me, and therefore I forgot to clean it up there. Excellent. So I'm glad you're paying attention. Now, for Ishan and for all the others, I want you to look at this match. This also happened in last World Cup, but I won't tell you guys who played who, but I also don't remember. And I want you to digest it for 1 second. Look at the blue. This is not India. This is not Australia. Okay, the colors I'm just using because I don't want to give you any hints. You can see, and let's see if I can ask you some questions about this game. What is the story of this one-day international match? Is what I want you to tell, and let's see if I can ask you. Okay, this is maybe you guys can type in terms of the color, which team played first and how do we know that? Which team played first? What do you guys think in this case?
So you can just tell us whether it's yellow or blue, which team played first. And in case it's, so Riyansh says that yellow won in the end, but blue played first.
Very good. Some people are saying yellow, many people are saying blue. Okay. Rayansh is correct, and everybody who said blue is correct. And I'll tell you guys why we can say that. Okay, you have to look at the score, guys. You can sort of see. Even actually, I'm not very sure in this case. Whoever scored blue made the run. Okay, blue played for longer, and they scored something like not very high. They scored a little over 150 or 160. Then yellow was the one that started. Oh, maybe I have more questions. Hold on. Which color won? Oh, I will not give it up. Who won this game? I'll come back. I'll come back and tell you guys what happened. But yellow won the game. Okay. Yeah, I'll just keep going because you can see that whoever ended up with a slightly higher score won. Okay. If you look very carefully towards the very end, right around 150 or 160, where there are 3 blue dots, you can see that yellow is actually higher. Okay. The person who's chasing, when they have only 1 run to win, sometimes they'll hit a 4 or a 6. So their total will be higher. So whoever obviously has a higher total won. So yellow ended up winning. Very good. And I probably have one question for you. I'll answer this myself. Okay, this was actually an exciting match, which is why I picked it up. But why do I know, or how do we know this is exciting? Again, I'll answer it because I don't expect you to necessarily, we don't have time perhaps. If these two worms go very close together, right, you can see at some point, it's not clear who will win. So it's very exciting until the very end. Either they could all get all out or they're not hitting fast enough and they'll run out of overs. So here, in this case, it was quite an exciting match. Now I will tell you what happened. This was on the 7th of October. This is actually teams that people don't generally pay attention to. Okay, Afghanistan versus Bangladesh. But in this case, Afghanistan put up a good score, but Bangladesh came back and managed to win in the end by chasing it down. And they won with quite a number of, if you can look carefully, Bangladesh lost only 4 wickets or so, whereas Afghanistan, as you can see here, lost quite a number of wickets. There are a lot more blue dots there. So Afghanistan ended up losing wickets. Bangladesh came, and then this was early on. Later on, if you remember, Afghanistan actually did very well in this World Cup. But I wanted to pick I found that it was an exciting match. At least it's felt like that. This is the power of visualization to tell you this whole story shows up in just one graph. Okay, I wanted to show you how people use visualization to convey statistics. Okay, let's keep moving. I want to show you guys one more aspect of being a sports analyst, and it's not just knowing very good math or stats. In fact, this person here says data science, which is the science of sports analysis in our case, is having common sense and curiosity and a knack for asking very good questions and the ability to tell a good story with data. Okay, so this person is an economist. They've written this very nice book, but they're saying that all you need to be able to do is to ask good questions. In fact, this other person, Jake, goes even more further. He says statistics is fundamentally about asking the right question. That's it. The rest of it you can learn from textbooks and from our teachers, but good questions have to come from you. Okay. So how do you come up with good questions? For this, rather than, people say, oh, you should ask good questions, but I don't think I have an easy answer for that. Yes, you can think, but I want to talk about asking good questions by giving you guys one more fact. Okay, this was in the fourth test. This happened. The same test match that happened between test series that happened between India and England. I'll read out to you what happened here. Okay, for the first time in the last decade, okay, in the last decade means 10 years. In the last 10 years, India managed to chase over 150 runs in the second innings and win a test match on home soil. This was an actual headline that I found in Google, and then I cut and paste here. And this itself tells me that I can ask a lot of questions. And so my challenge to you is look closely at the statement below, at the sentence which starts from for the first time and ends in home soil. I want you, all of us, to look at it carefully, and I want you to come up with possible questions relating to this. Maybe I'll make it easy by giving you guys one hint, and then you can do the next one. Let's focus on, let's say, last decade. Okay. Instead of the last decade, you can say, how often does it happen in the last 20 years? Now, I will keep quiet and I will give you guys 1 minute by read the sentence above and write all the questions, and maybe Siddharth, you could read out people's questions and we can see if people are got the idea of asking good questions.
Yeah.
Yes. But
So
I want you to make it a question. Go ahead, Siddharth. Sorry.
Yeah, so please phrase it as a question. Ved, you've made an observation that the fact this has happened only once in the last decade means it's rare. But what is a question that you'd make? Shreyansh, we need a little more detail in your question. Was it bad? Okay. So Meenal is saying, is asking a question, saying under whose captainship did this happen? So if I could rephrase that question, Meenal, you would be asking, has the captain mattered in the last decade?
Okay, those are very good questions.
So what did India do in this match that led them to chase 150 runs for the first time in 10 years?
Very good. Excellent.
Okay. Who was leading in the 20th over?
Okay.
Has India lost a lot of wickets in the second innings in test matches generally?
Yeah, excellent. That's a really good question. Okay.
Was India a team who had new players who did not have experience?
Okay. Seeing a lot of good questions coming in.
Was the score in the first innings on the higher side? At what point was India leading? Was the run rate always higher throughout this innings, or did it increase to overtake England towards the end?
Oh, excellent. Okay, I'm seeing a lot of you are getting an idea, right? This is exactly what it means. All of you, I think, can become sports analysts if you can first ask a good question and then figure out how to answer it. Okay, more are coming. Was it the tail enders that were also good hitters? Okay, excellent. Tail enders meaning people who play towards the very end. For you to chase successfully, is that an important thing? So we can divide the innings into two halves, the early part and the later half, and then we can focus on tail enders. Excellent. These are all ideas that I had not even thought of, by the way. Were openers good at hitting? Yes, Reyansh. We could certainly do that. Let me give you guys more hints. So look at the statement above. Let's see. We are saying India. I'm circling India. What does that tell you? Maybe is Australia very good at chasing? Is Bangladesh, Afghanistan, England, South Africa? We could, right? You can change it and see who does this very well. So that could be one. Let me circle one more and you guys tell me what questions. 150 runs I have circled. What does that mean?
You can raise your hand maybe and I'll unmute you so that it has a faster turnaround. We can just listen to 1 or 2 people per question.
Okay.
So Jagat.
Jagat, 150.
Sir,
Mhm.
with
Go
sir,
ahead.
we have sir. Then how often which team scored
Mhm.
more, chased more than 150 runs in the last decade? Oftenly,
Yes,
very often.
often, very often.
Huh.
Very good. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Which team? Yes, exactly. We could certainly do that.
Thanks,
Okay.
Jagat.
And that's very good. You want to ask one more or we keep going? Okay,
Rihan,
I
would
have
you
more.
like
So
to?
I'll,
Yeah, we
yeah,
can go. I have someone
we
else for
can,
another question. Yeah.
yeah, we can, so instead of 150, we can say, is it easy to chase 100 runs? Can you chase 200 runs, 175? So we can see how many questions we can ask just with one statement. Okay, so you can really come up with it. And now I'll make you guys, I'm circled home soil. What does that mean? What questions immediately you will all think of it? 160 seems like a big gap. And which are the other teams who can do this? Excellent. Yeah, exactly. These are the kind of questions we should ask as. Loka Priyant has raised his hand, Siddharth.
Yeah. Go ahead, Lokpriyant.
You are muted.
Yes, sir. Sir, like which country or who scored 150 runs in their own country's stadium?
Yes, absolutely. That's exactly what we are saying, right? Who has a big advantage? Like we saw already with Chandigarh and Mohali, and somebody else also was asking. I think Samant is writing here. Was the team very comfortable on their home soil? Yeah, we saw that. Here, India is of course has a huge advantage because England is playing in India, and India has, as all of you know, right, huge support. Okay, excellent. So I feel that you guys all have this have the ability to ask very good questions, and I decided that I will make one word which tells me how I will know whether somebody is going to ask good questions or not, and that word is curiosity. Okay, since all of you logged in today and are attending, I feel that you are really indeed curious to know about sports analytics, and look at how many questions are still coming in. All you need to be a good mathematic person, a good statistician, to be a good sports analyst, to be a good data scientist is curiosity. That's it. The rest of it, we can learn from textbooks. We can learn by practice. Okay. Very important. Just keep this in mind. If you get nothing else from this, at least keep in mind that you need to be curious to be a good data science or a data engineer or a math person. All right. Now I'm going to make it a little more difficult for you guys. I think since I see that you guys are already very smart, okay, let's have some fun. Let me tell you what I mean by this. I think that we also need to have, and you guys have already demonstrated it, but something I call sports thinking. Okay, it's very difficult to define, but I'm calling it sports analysis or sports analytical thinking. And since I don't even know how to define it properly, I'm saying it's about how to think quantitatively, meaning think in terms of numbers using quantity about sports. How do you think about sports in a very mathematical, precise way? That's what we want to do. And again, rather than giving you a lot of theory, I thought I will explain this concept using one idea. Okay. So as you know, IPL has become very, very popular now. It's actually going on. A lot of people are watching. So let's say that now the UAE, okay, in Dubai or the United Arab Emirates in the Middle East, they want to also start owning, they want to form an IPL team. And to do that, they are trying to create a new team, which means they have to pick some bowlers. Okay. And I don't know if you guys know, but every team is given a budget, meaning how much money they can spend. They cannot go buy all the good players. And that means one team will become very strong. So to avoid this, we do this. So with a little bit of a budget, you can only pick 11 people to play, as you know, and there are two choices here. Okay. Now, first choice is one guy called Kushal Malla. He's a Nepal bowler. And I will come back to these numbers. Okay. We know some facts. I'll explain in 1 second. Or you have one other choice. You can pick this other person called Prasiddha Krishna. Okay, remember Prasiddha Krishna, who's an Indian player, and some statistics about that person. And we can only pick one. Okay, and I'm going to explain to you guys how to pick this one. But before you start typing anything, let me explain these three numbers. Okay, there is something called bowling SR, which is a strike rate. There is something called a bowling average, and we already saw economy rate. Let me look here at the screen for 1 second, and I'll tell you what is going on. Okay, let's say you are a bowler in any form of cricket, one-day international, test, T20, whatever it is. a bowler, of course, have to bowl balls. Okay, they'll keep bowling if they're allowed in a one-day international. They're allowed 10 overs. They can only bowl a total of 60 legal balls. Once they bowl a ball, they will give some runs. Okay, and a good bowler will give fewer runs, and not a very good bowler will give a lot of runs. And good bowlers will take a lot of wickets. There are only these three things that happen. So now we can actually combine balls and runs given, and that's called economy rate. In fact, the definition is very simple. Total runs given by the bowler divided by the number of balls or number of overs, okay, multiplied by 6 to make it into overs, and that gives you the economy rate. We can also combine the balls that they bowled and the wickets that they take to something called a strike rate, okay? And in English, strike rate is simply the number of balls divided by the number of wickets. So how many balls how many balls does it take before you can get one wicket? If somebody has a strike rate of 30, that means for every 30 deliveries that they make, they will get one wicket. Whereas if somebody has a strike rate of 15, that means in only 15 balls, they will take one wicket. And finally, we can also combine these two. We can combine the runs given divided by the wickets taken. This is not that often used, but it is just runs divided by wickets, okay? That means in order to get every wicket, how expensive are you? Are you giving, so that's the bowling average. But one thing I want all of you to remember is that lower is better, okay? A lower economy rate is very good. A lower strike rate is really good. And a lower bowling average means that you give very few runs to take wickets, okay? Lower is better. And there are three numbers. Now let's go back to our question. And maybe you can write down some ideas. I give you guys only one choice. Yeah, which measure? I don't know. So we can, I've given you three measures and I want you to pick only one person. So you look at all the data and I will also see if we have time, I'll go and see how to plot. Some people already have decided that they, oh, why you guys all want Prasiddha Krishna. I don't know if that answer is so clear to me. Look at the economy rate of Kushal Malla, okay? By the way, guys, there's no correct answer, okay? In this case, it's not like, this is not unlike in your exams, some people will like Kushal, that's why, right? It's like saying, who's the better batsman? Some people like one batsman, some people like somebody else. Same thing with your football players. It's not always clear. While you're doing that, let me see if I can, keep writing. And then I want to show you guys, here is what I'm going to do, okay? Since I have all the data of T20 for, I'm going to actually start seeing if I can create plots. I'll give you one example of plots that I might create. Here is what I could think of, and you guys can think of other ones. I could plot strike rate versus economy, right? I can plot strike rate in the x-axis, economy in the x-axis. I could plot strike rate in the y-axis, and I can then, for each bowler, I'll put one dot, and then depending on where they come, we can understand what's going on. You guys tell me what is the second plot I could make. I could also create something else because I have three sets of data. I have all the strike rates, economy rates, and averages. I just need to choose two. Okay, just to keep it moving, I'm going to say that I could take strike rate, and since I already plotted economy, this time I'm going to plot the bowling average. Or I could do economy versus average. Okay, there are at least three types of plots I could make, and then I can switch x and y axis, which will give me 6 axes. So if time permits, let's see if we can actually go over to, I'm going to run this. And if it comes, I'll show you. Otherwise, we don't have to run it. We'll just look at the plots because I already have it. But if it comes, then I would like to run it for you. No, there's just simply not enough memory, and I don't want to sort of do this and come back. I don't want to reveal the answer yet. Let me, okay, many of you will pay attention, guys. Many of you said Kushal Malla, but even more people are saying Prasiddha Krishna. Prasiddha Krishna definitely has a better bowling strike rate. Okay, you see, for every 30 balls, he's able to get a wicket, whereas Nepali guy, Kushal Malla, has to bowl 45 deliveries. All right. Look at the average. The average is almost the same, 39, 36, it's comparable. Okay, so for now, let's ignore it. But I want you to pay attention to economy rate. It is very, very important. Okay, 5.19 versus 7.20. What that tells me is that the Nepali bowler, Kushal Malla, is actually a lot more economical. Okay, whereas Prasidh gives a lot more runs. Okay, he's giving every over, he's giving 2 runs more. And so based on this, here is my conclusion. And then I don't know what you guys said, but I'm going to say that if taking wickets is more important, okay, because you really want good bowlers, then you should pick Prasidh. You will pick the Indian Prasidh Krishna. Whereas if preventing runs is more important, and sometimes it doesn't matter, right? Because we just want our opponent not to hit. I just want to contain them, meaning I want them to hit fewer runs. Then you will pick Kushal. Okay, so this is what I mean by sports thinking, meaning the answer is never clear. Okay, it's not like a math problem. It's not 3 + 5 = 8. And all of you are right, because you can choose. It depends on the condition, depends on the case, it depends on who you are playing, right? So this is what I mean by sports thinking. Okay, I have come to the last part of today. I'm calling it a framework. I'll go very quickly because I feel that if you start approaching a project, here are 5 or 6 steps that you always have to do. Doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter whether it's table tennis or badminton or tennis or cricket or football or hockey. You should find some data and you should prepare the data, which is what I did today myself. But you will have to do this. After that, everything that we did today is what I would call exploratory analysis. We explore the data. We create some plots, we look at it, we create some statistics, and we look at it. Then we build some models, which is where you start making some predictions. Who will win? What is my win percentage? What is my win probability? And then we have to communicate the results, meaning you tell a story, and then don't worry about operationalizing. That would be when you put it in a website for others to come and look at your results. Even though that is my framework, this is what I feel really happens. We end up spending a lot of time on preparing data, and almost most of my time, as you can see here, goes off in the yellow box. Okay, I'm spending a lot of time, as we did today, analyzing the data. A little bit on model building, a little bit on communicating. Okay, that's sort of what I mean by a framework. And for all of you, I think you should start, if you're interested in this, you should start only by working on a project. Many of you said table tennis, some of you said badminton. These are all, by the way, cricket and football I used today because those are, the whole world is interested in that. But if you do some table tennis analysis, not many people are doing it. So you will have a huge advantage. Get the data, it's available, and then you can work on projects. And then you can pick a question to answer. Why is China so good in table tennis? And how does India compare? Or you can go to badminton, many, many things. And you can look at comparing, sort of look at so much women's data is available, men, and so on. So in the interest of closing this, I'm just going to tell you guys that working on sports analytics, I see 3 advantages. You build coding, which is what's programming. Okay, you can certainly learn how I used everything. I built everything using Python. You learn how analytics works, and you create a portfolio, which means you create a set of projects which you can then show others. And it's not just for sports analytics. This works for any analytics. I even use this daily in my work. Okay, in case any parents are watching, I tell them that sports analytics is an excellent hobby. All your kids will learn, and I think they'll be really interested in math concepts, but it's not great as a profession because there are too many people. Some people here has already used, some person has used Matplotlib, which is what I also used with to do my plots. So this is not a great profession because it doesn't pay that much, and there are too many people who want to do these things for free. So it's perhaps not a great profession. Okay, but I will leave it with this one thing, and I'll hand it back to you, Siddharth. If you want to do anything in sports analysis or math or science, curiosity is all you need. Everything else you can learn. You guys have it. I can see it. So I'll stop here and hand it over to you, Siddharth.
Great. Thank you so much, Ram. If I could ask you, thank you so much for that great session, Ram. We're now, we have about 20 minutes where we can just freely interact with Ram and ask him questions. So please raise your hand if you want to ask a question. And even if you want to go over any of the graphs that he showed, if you have questions about things that happened, please do share with us. We're happy to go over them and deal with any questions that you have, whether it's from within the material already shown or it's related to the material that we've shown today. Jagat, I see your hand is up. Could you unmute yourself and speak?
Sir, Sir, you showed about those three metric
Yes.
for the bowlers, the strike rate and the
Go ahead.
they
Yeah, go ahead.
that
Ah,
Sir.
go ahead, Jagat. So the three metrics: strike rate,
yes, sir.
bowling average, and economy rate. What is your question about it?
Sir, you told about there was one slide about uh, how to join them and some. I didn't understand that. Can you explain again?
Sure, I will. Are you talking about this one, Jagat?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let me explain it to you one more time. I might have gone very fast. So sorry, I'll go very slow again. Okay, let me leave it here. A bowler, what is a bowler's job, right? They keep throwing balls, right? That's all they have to do.
Yes,
And
sir.
in a one-day international, you're allowed 10 overs. I think in a T20, you're allowed only 4 overs. I may be wrong. It will be 4 or 5 overs, right? So only 24 balls you can make. In that, you will give some runs. Correct, Jagat, right? A batsman is going to keep hitting runs. And
Yes.
if the batsman hits a lot of runs, that means it's not very good. The bowler is not very good because he's easy to hit. And if a bowler bowls very tight, which is called very economical, meaning they give very few runs, then it is called then the bowler is a good bowler. So what I do is I take these two facts, okay, and let me show you here. Let's say I'll give an example, then it'll become very clear. Let's say I'm a bowler and I have bowled 30 balls, okay,
Yes, sir.
30 balls, and okay, 30 divided by sorry, and then I have given, let's say, 90 runs. Okay, I'll keep the math very easy. 90 runs in 30 balls. So what is my economy rate?
3 runs per hour.
3 runs per over. I don't know where to make it into overs, right? Because
Sir,
30 balls is how many overs?
So 3 runs per ball.
Yes, exactly. 3 runs per ball. That's a lot. So economy rate is 18. Okay, I didn't choose a very good example. Yeah, but you're right. Exactly. It's 3 runs per ball means the bowler is hopeless, right? The 18 runs, if you give in an over, they will not put you in any team. They will get you out. But you understand how economy rate works, Jagat?
Yes, sir.
All you have to do is total number of runs given divided by number of overs. Now let's look at strike rate. I'll give another, hopefully a better example or a simple example. Let's say that I have, again, let's keep to 30 balls. Okay, I have made 30 deliveries. And let's say I took 2 wickets, only 2 wickets. What is my strike rate? And let me show you the formula. It is the number of balls I have bowled divided by wickets. So you tell me.
So like 1 wicket for 15 balls.
Exactly. So strike rate is 15. Beautiful. It is 30 divided by 2. And now, since we know that this person has given 2 wickets and they have taken 90 runs, the bowling average is, and again the formula is here, 90 divided by 2. What is 90 divided by 2?
So 45.
45 is the bowling average. Okay, so that's all. Now if you look at this data, it will become very clear. Okay, see Kushal Malla.
What's
I
a
don't know if
bowl?
my cursor is. Yeah, go ahead.
So what's a bowling average?
A bowling average is here, runs divided by wickets, which means that, let me explain in this one. Now it will become very clear. See, 45 runs for every wicket. Okay, Kushal Malla, if he's very expensive, meaning he gives 45 runs and he takes 1 wicket. But Prasidh only gives 30 runs and he gets 1 wicket. That's what, no, I'm talking about bowling strike rate.
Balls.
Sorry,
That's 30
bowling
balls.
average is
Yeah.
balls. Yeah. So 39 balls for 1 run, is it? That's what the bowling average is. 39 runs. No, now I'm also getting confused. Hold on. Let's look at it here. The runs divided by wickets. That's what the bowling average is. So for 39 runs, this person took 1 wicket and this person took 1 wicket for 36 runs. Okay. Whereas in strike rate is where we talk about number of balls. So this is a little confusing. Yes. You
Yes.
can read up on it later, and but I just want to tell you how to calculate these things. These are very good questions. Thank you.
Okay.
Great. Thanks, Jagat. Then Samant had his hand up. Samant, would you like to speak?
In that bowling page where we like check which bowler to use, if if they could afford both the bowlers in matches where the batsmen just swing and hit runs, we can try and take
Go ahead.
Kushal
I'm
Malla,
listening.
and when the opponent is a defensive team, we can take Krishna.
Absolutely, Samant. That's wonderful, actually. I think you really got it. And I don't know if you can see my screen. I'm saying if taking wickets is important, it's exactly what you're saying, right? If they're being very conservative, then I
If
would take
the
Prasad Krishna.
opponent is if the opponent swings and tries to hit a lot, get the bowler with less economy. And if the
Yes.
opponent is not very aggressive, like some few singles, doubles, fours,
Yes.
1, 2 sixes, lots of dots, then bring in the bowler which can take wickets faster and
Absolutely.
can be hit for runs, but because that team doesn't want to hit lot of runs, they won't get as much runs.
Very good. Very good. That's exactly, you got it. That's what sports thinking is. Absolutely correct. You said it better than I could.
Thank you, Samant. Then Ridhan had his hand up.
So my question is, if you go to that, could you go to that Krishna and
Yeah.
Mala page for a minute?
I will.
No,
Am I
this is not.
sharing?
No,
This one?
it's the
Maybe?
wrong page.
No.
No, it's supposed to be.
I think they want the page with the numbers on it.
Yeah.
This one?
So
Am I?
yes,
This one?
and I have a question. Why is Kusal Malla chosen to not give the most runs? Because not give the most runs. Why is he not like able to get the team? Because he has more in actually everything except economy.
Yes, but smaller number is good. Remember? So economy, he's like, in this case, more is not very good. So 45 compared to 30, look at the strike rate. 30 is better. Smaller number is better because you are getting a wicket for every 30 balls. Whereas this guy needs to bowl 45 deliveries before he gets a. So smaller is better. Smaller is better. In this case, smaller is better.
But what's economy again, sir?
Economy is number of runs given in an over. It's an
But
economy rate.
but Krishna would give more runs in an over, so but
Yes.
that might cost them the match.
That's right. That's true.
So
Krishna will
both
give more
of-
runs, but he also takes more wickets.
Yeah, but so if they could afford both of them, it would be good. So that
Yes.
when a really good batsman is there, they
Yes.
could use Mala, and when there's like a defense playing batsman, they could use Krishna to get the wickets.
Yes. Yes, you guys are thinking exactly like what every coach or every captain says, right? Hey, I want this guy and I want that guy. But you know, you can only have 11 players in a team, and sometimes you don't have enough money. It's you have to choose. These are very difficult choices, but excellent. I'm so glad that you guys
And
picked
there's
up on
also
this.
a lot
This
of
is
money handling.
There's a lot of money, yes, in IPL.
So I'm
Okay,
just,
go ahead.
I want to give you guys a few minutes to come up with more questions. And I just want to tell you about the 3 upcoming masterclasses that we have. So I will quickly share my screen for 2 minutes and then we'll be back to Ram again. Sorry, I will so just wanted to do my slideshow again. Just a moment. So we have 3 sessions coming up in the next few weeks. The next 2 are actually back to back after this. So next week we have a masterclass that I'm leading on rolling squares, where we will be exploring what happens to the world if wheels were square. Okay, it's a hands-on thing. So please do come. It's at around the same time, 4 p.m. India time next Saturday. And the Saturday after that, we have Professor Utpal Chattopadhyay, who's a long-time mentor with GenWise. He's a really incredible mentor and thoughtful person, and he knows a lot about math. Okay, his day job is he's an astrophysicist, which means he studies like how the stars move and how the galaxies move and things like that. So what he's going to do is work with us on some simple mathematics, or more than simple mathematics that's there in very simple puzzles. So he's going to take puzzles and show you some of the deep mathematics that's there behind it. So I'll share links to sign up for all of these in the chat. Then finally, on the 18th of May, so about a month from now, Dr. Radha Gopalan, who's again another mentor with GenWise and a really great naturalist, is going to be doing a session on where are the women of science. So only about 30%, so anywhere between 10 to 30% of researchers in the world in different fields are women. But half of all people are women. So why is there this gap? Radha will be taking us deeper into this. And so please do sign up for that. I'll share links for all of this in the chat. So by attending these events over and over, we're hoping to share different aspects of learning with you and also build a community. So I'll share links for that in the chat. Until then, Reyansh has a question. Reyansh, could you unmute?
Who invented this concept of plotting?
Reyansh, I don't know how to answer that, first of all. But see, plotting has been going on for almost hundreds of years, or maybe not hundreds of years, but certainly, yeah, I would say over 200 or 300 years. People used to plot by hand. It used to be called graph. Okay, they would draw graphs. So I don't know who exactly invented it, but many people have come up with many ideas. But these days it is used a lot. Excellent question. You can read up on plotting because I think it's an incredible tool, but I'm afraid I don't know the answer to that. Siddharth, you may know, or anybody else may know. I just don't know.
So one fun aside on the point of plotting is, so you all saw the pie charts that Ram had in the presentation, right? Where it was a circle and then some part of it. Apparently, one of the first people to popularize a pie chart was Florence Nightingale. I don't know if you've heard of her, but she made she was a nurse during World War I. And maybe not World War I. No,
yeah, she was.
Yeah,
yes.
during World War I.
Or even before that,
Yeah, even before that. And she made a very impactful graph, the pie chart, that showed how many soldiers died due to different reasons. And the thing that was interesting about her graph was the biggest chunk of soldiers dying were not because of the war, but was because of disease. And so by making that graph, by showing it to all the officials and the queen and this and that, she got people to start working on basic hygiene and cleaning. So graphs can be very, very powerful. Great. Siddharth, your hand was up and then you put it down again. Siddharth Harishankar. Just checking if your question got answered. Okay, and Rajesh has also given us an answer in the chat.
Wow.
Siddharth, you wanted to ask something?
Okay.
Sir, my doubt got cleared.
Okay,
It got clear.
great. Thanks. Then Jagat, your hand is up. Go ahead.
Sir,
Mhm.
sir, I want to ask one thing, sir. You told about the 3 bowling metrics, sir. So can it be different from match to match, sir? Is it like a predictive way or is it?
Okay. Excellent question, Jagat. I think you really like these. So you and I are going to be spending more time on it. So Siddharth, my my Jupyter notebook is working now. Maybe I will share and show them the actual data. Okay, I'll take 2
lovely.
minutes and just
Yeah.
if that's okay with everybody. Let me see if I can share.
Yes, sir, please.
Tell me if you guys can see anything yet. Can you see
Yes,
it?
we can see it.
Okay, Let me quickly tell you guys what I did. Okay, and Jagat, you're asking, right? This is the bowling economy rate. I could find every bowler in IPL. Okay, I could get their history. And okay, yeah, I was, as you can see, this is my exploring. Okay, I was doing it and I was seeing, and many of you go, I think this is Shreyas Iyer. He's played 20 matches. Let me see what data I have. I think I have every game that they played in 2023. And yeah, here. So I got but the statistics for, because they play a lot of games. So this is the strike rate last year, 2023, because 24 season is going on. And as you can see here, I have 326 IPL players in all, and I have a lot of statistics on them. Then, so I'm not giving you fake data. Everything I shared with you is actually real data from last year. What I tried to do is I use this plot, and as you can see here, x-axis is strike rate, y-axis is economy rate, and then I started plotting it. Then became too much for me, right? So many colors. But since I wanted to, one way you can do it is I can undo and then only focus on some people. But let me quickly skip to where I plotted for all the Indian bowlers I had and all the Nepali bowlers I had. Okay. And what I'm able to do now is I can go to each dot and it tells me that this is, I don't know this player. Okay. JD Unadkat. Unadkat has an economy of 3.2. So you see how it works. And I can, all the red dots are Nepal players and I'm able to compare them. But since I was trying to look for Prasiddha Malla and Prasiddha and the other guy, Kushal, I was not able to find them. So what I did is then I decided that I will, next to the dot, I start writing their names. Okay, so Rohit Sharma is here. He's very expensive. As you can see, he gives more than 8 runs an over. So he didn't bowl many overs and so on. But then I found that I'm still not able to find Kushal Malla and Prasiddha Krishna. So there is a nice feature where I can actually zoom to a little bit. And if I do that, you see the plot, I'm only focusing on that. I found he's here and Kushal is here. So let's do this. Let's focus on this one. Now, I'm able to see that Prasiddha Malla is here. Okay. And I should have told you guys that in all these axes, closer to the origin, okay, as close as you are to 0, 0, or the bottom left-hand side is better. So Prasiddha Malla is very good in terms of, as we already know, strike rate. But Kushal Malla, look at how economical he is. Okay, so this is where I could compare. And then when I'm looking at it, I'm saying, hey, look at this guy. I didn't know this, but there is a Nepal player called Gulshan Jha. And if he's available and if he's cheaper than either of these guys, maybe I should look into it because he's combining both. Okay, so this is one way that you would use plotting to compare different players. So I don't know, Jagat, if that answers, but I wanted to show you how I actually work with this data. I don't know that we may run out of time, so I don't want to take too much time.
No, that's great.
Hope
Thanks
that was
for
somewhat
showing this,
clear.
Ram.
Okay, sure.
Jagat, your hand is up again. Go ahead, ask your question.
Sir, actually, I couldn't unmute. I was just
Sure.
telling one more thing. I was just seeing through. Sir, also, sir, it was a very good class, sir. I liked it very much.
Thank you.
Sir,
Thank you, I liked it also.
when I attended every class in Gifted World, sir, like most of the classes I was attending, I was thinking that it is more curious. I'm getting more curious to know more and more.
Wonderful.
So,
Thank
sir,
you, Jagat.
I'm just
Yeah.
thinking like I will try to explore all the opportunities and join many classes and try to learn more and more.
Wonderful.
Thank you, Jagat. Yes.
That is my wish.
Great, great. Glad to have you on board. So I think with that, I'd like to thank Ram for his time and all the detailed preparation that he put into making this happen. And also thank all of you for joining us this Saturday afternoon. Ram is all the way across the world in Florida, USA. So he's woken up early in the morning to give us all this presentation. So thank you, Ram, for doing this. We will be sharing a recording of this on YouTube, and Ram has also kindly agreed to share links to those collab notebooks. So those of you who are able to interact with Python online, you will actually be able to do all of these statistics that Ram has shown. And that, I think, would be a great way for you to learn even in this space. So thank you so much. Please do stay in touch. We will be publishing a blog and the YouTube video about this session. And until, feel free to unmute and say goodbye, say hello. You can say good morning to Ram because it's still only, I think it's still only 8:30 in the morning there.
Yes. Thanks.
Good
All.
morning, sir.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir. It was very informative.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
Bye,
you.
sir.
Thank you for all your
Thank you,
questions.
everyone.
Bye-bye.
Have a good weekend.
Thank you, sir. Sir, our next class is next weekend or next weekend, sir?
They're both. There's one happening on 20th and on 27th of April.
Okay.
Good morning
Yeah.
and thank you, sir. Bye.
Absolutely.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye, Rayansh. Thank you for all your questions.
Bye.
Thank you, sir. Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you, Ram. See you.